Hey guys, it's Julia Kaufman. I'm here with Sean Scapitici, who is actually partnered with Nick Spanos on creating one of these Bitcoin ATMs behind me. Sean is a manufacturer of these Bitcoin ATMs, and he's going to tell us a little bit about them. Sean, why don't you kick it off?
Yeah, sure. So it's digital asset vending equipment.
Bitcoin D.A.V.E. Bitcoin D.A.V.E. is the name of the company.
D.A.V.E. is the name of the company, and we do all the software in-house, and then we've got a pretty specific standard list of hardware. It's just bill acceptor, barcode scanner, camera, that we give that parts list to a Chinese manufacturer, and they put the housings together for us. It just shows up with a standard Ubuntu operating system, and then we throw software on them.
Wow. And when did you start doing this?
We started the project back in like late 2012.
Can you imagine, let's just take a second to think about this. Late 2012, you had this vision to put a Bitcoin ATM on the market. I mean, people didn't even know what Bitcoin was. And you not only knew what Bitcoin was, but you had this vision to create a Bitcoin ATM. What sparked this?
That's right. I went out to the Bitcoin 2013 conference in Silicon Valley, and we were part of the hackathon out there, and ended up making one of our first ATMs for the hackathon at the conference. We saw the interest that was available, and we started off as being a sort of partially open source project that other people were building the machines based on a parts list and then using our code. And then we saw, the demand was growing, and decided to release a flagship ATM that was not so open and available for something that we would sell rather than a project for the community.
Wow! And where there was the first big Bitcoin ATM that you manufactured was in Silicon Valley, or put in Silicon Valley?
Yeah, we didn't put it in there. It was a handgun safe with a laptop and like a TV on top and a webcam. It was certainly not something to sell. It was more of a academic project at the case. Yeah,
that's amazing. And where are they manufactured?
We get them manufactured in China right now, but a few of our customers, we give them the parts list, so we don't make any money on the sale of the hardware. We just do 1% of transaction volume, and then so we can open source the open list the hardware, I guess. Open source is, I don't want to confuse with sharing code, but we give people a parts list so they can we have some people using their own factories to put it together in a different style box, and then we just load our software on.
That's amazing. Okay, and how long does it take to manufacture one of these things?
Our factory is about like 30 days on the actual building side, and then like a month of shipping logistics and figuring out, sort of getting it to where it's, I would say all in all, it's about 60 days if they make it for you on site.
Okay, and it's my understanding that you sell these Bitcoin ATMs outright, so someone kind of almost like a franchise model? Like McDonald's is like.
Yeah, no, sure. When they buy an ATM from us, they own the hardware. The wallet on the machine is theirs. And we are going to be open sourcing just the server side, so that, or maybe not even open sourcing, but allowing people to deploy the server side, because that's really the only piece that they need us for right now is the remote admin operating system. And we've had a few requests that people want to run everything on their own house rather than having things on our servers. Even though we don't store data on our servers, it's all pushing data directly to the machine, all like customer information, transaction data stored locally on the machine rather than having some central database that could be hacked. So we really built these machines with decentralization in mind.
So if you're saying everything is stored on the machine, could the machine be hacked?
It's all encrypted on there, so that would be
hard.
Yeah, I'm not going to say that it couldn't happen. I mean, if you gain physical access to something, generally speaking, it's considered compromised.
But I have to pick this up.
But you would have to steal the machine rather than being able to, from the safety of your home and try and get to some database or something like that.
I see. Interesting. So if let's say Julia Kaufman, I want to get into the Bitcoin ATM business. I come to you. I say, how do I get one of these? What's the process to get started?
The first process is figure out what the local regulations are for your area, and sort of that's probably going to be your biggest barrier to entry. So if you really wanted to run one of these and make money from it would be much easier to find a location and then an existing ATM operator who's gone through all of it. Now, if you're wanting to run your own network, absolutely, you're going to want to take all those steps. But if you're looking to have one machine and generate revenue from it, it's a much quicker entry into the market to find a location and then get in touch with an existing Bitcoin ATM operator, because they're looking for locations of people that want to house them, and they would go through all those loopholes, and then you would just get maybe whatever they're looking to pay, whether it be percentage of transaction volume or however you want to do that with them.
And what kind of startup costs am I looking at?
Machine, all in all, is about like $5,000 with shipping and taxes from China, and then you probably want, if you were running this yourself, you probably want like a $10,000 float in Bitcoin, less percentage cast. 90% of volume is people buying Bitcoin, generally speaking. So you probably want, I'd say like all in all, and get the location as well, it'd be like 20 grand startup cost to run one and really be up and running with it. I've seen people start it with less, you know, like have maybe a $3,000 float or something like that. But my recommendation would be like estimate like 20 grand probably to get everything up and running for a machine.
Okay. And then as a consumer, the person that's getting Bitcoin from this machine, what kind of fees am I looking to pay?
A lot of them around the city are running about like 8%, generally speaking, is something I see a lot. If you wanted to check out fees, the easiest way to do it would, rather than me guess, it would be coinatmradar.com.
Oh, interesting. Coinatmradar.com.
Yeah, has a map of all the ATMs, shows their fees, the transaction limits. There's a ton of good information there.
Oh, interesting. Okay, and do you think it varies by state?
Absolutely.
Okay.
It's by local area, so you'll see the prices kind of change
like
together in
Bitcoin
local areas.
ATM is any more than Queens?
I don't
more than
know in that
Utah
regard.
or Florida? Like how?
It generally has to do with how many ATMs are in the area and whether or not they're fighting for competition.
I see. That makes more sense. Okay. This is so fascinating. So I think the best way to really, show a real example is to show a demo.
Yeah.
So I myself, I'm going to insert $1, and we're going to see what that equates to in Bitcoin. Okay.
Sounds good.
All right. Thanks.
We're in front of the Bitcoin ATM. So the first step that I'm going to do, and Sean will guide me through if I'm doing anything wrong, but first I'm going to say create wallet. So I'm going to press this create wallet button right here. And the reason, why do I need to create a wallet?
So you have somewhere to send your Bitcoin to.
Okay, so basically when the Bitcoin comes out, that was one of my first questions, is it going to come out in like a digital USB? Is it, and what it's going to come out to is related to this wallet. So, but first I have to create it before I buy any wallet. So why would I have two options to create a wallet, paper wallet versus brain wallet. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. Paper wallet is just a standard Bitcoin wallet. It's going to spit out a public and private key generated from a random, public and private key.
On a piece of paper?
On a piece of paper, you're
Okay.
going to get two QR codes. One's the public, one's the private. The brain wallet is more like an advanced user feature. You can generate a seed from a phrase so that you could throw that wallet away and regenerate the same wallet from the same phrase. But you want to be really careful that your phrase is pretty long, because otherwise somebody's just going to, they could just be checking seeds and be sweeping wallets like that. So if your seed was less than a certain amount of characters, odds are somebody's going to pull that. So that's generally something for like somebody who knows what it is.
Okay. So I'm simple. So I'm going to go with the paper wallet. Click. Okay, and we have, let me go back. So something printed out. You guys probably heard that noise. This paper wallet. Okay. Usually this bottom one you wouldn't show. That's called your private key. The top one is your external code that you can show.
Exactly.
This external code, basically, let's say Sean wanted to send me a Bitcoin. I would give him that address and he could send me a Bitcoin.
Exactly. You can share.
Are you going to send me a Bitcoin after this, Sean?
Address.
But this private key is basically my own key, right? So Sean sends me a Bitcoin to this address, right? Now I want to access that Bitcoin, I need that address. If someone else accesses that address, they can basically steal my Bitcoin that Sean just sent me. And I don't want that. So usually when you print a paper wallet like this part, you'd hide. All right, moving on. Next step. So I have my paper wallet. So the next step is I'm going to buy Bitcoin. So I'm just going to press buy Bitcoin. And basically I'm reading some terms and conditions, buying Bitcoin, 1% fee, minimum purchase US $50, et cetera. Accept. All right. So now I need to scan my Bitcoin address. So that Bitcoin address, if you guys remember, is basically this top QR code. So I'm going to go down.
Yeah, barcode scanner is definitely the easy.
So now it's asking me, one second. It's asking me confirm your address. Please confirm that your Bitcoin address is XXX. So that 1PF, et cetera, that's my external address. So quick check, just to make sure that everything's working correctly. I need to confirm that 1PF ends with DX, and that's correct. So I am going to say yes. Everything is correct. Oh, sorry. I have sticky fingers, guys. Oh, Sean's gonna help me out. Oh, maybe we're stuck.
We got hung up here.
Oh, there we go. All right. So next, please enter the amount you would like to purchase. So I'm going to purchase a mighty $1. $1. And then I'm going to click purchase. Please enter a phone number for your verification. All right, so now I'm going to place in the verification code. 1856699. Verify. Okay, please wait. Now I need to insert my dollar, which, this is real money, is going to get converted into Bitcoin. You guys ready? I'm really excited. All right, so if I tilt this right here, and it says all sales are final. So I'm not gonna be able to get this dollar back. Am I ready? Oh, it's eating it. Oh, what do we see? What do we see? Click. All right, accepted, finish, and it's sent. So $1 equals 0.00016405, fraction of a Bitcoin, to my address. And let's see if that matches up. 1PF EK, and then it ends with DX. How cool is that? So now I have $1 with the Bitcoin on my address, and then I can finish. Or should I print a receipt?
You could print a receipt if you'd like.
Let's print a receipt. What does the receipt say? Session 390. We have my address, $1, and I see if it's looking at what price is it using of a Bitcoin? 6095.76 cents. This is so cool. And now we finish. All right, and we're back to the main screen. All right, guys, so I'm back with Sean. I got my $1 worth of a Bitcoin from his Bitcoin ATM. Thank you so much for making that happen, Sean.
Sure.
So what kind of volume are we seeing in these Bitcoin ATMs?
It really is just location dependent.
Okay.
It could be anything from 0 to, I've heard stories of $500,000 months on some machines.
Wow. And who comes to these ATMs? Like what kind of profiles of people?
Really, anyone who's looking to buy Bitcoin for cash or swap it out, there's an immensely wide demographic of people that use the machines.
Wow. And what's the benefit of going to a Bitcoin ATM versus an exchange, a secondary exchange?
It's going to be ease of use, immediate transaction. You have your cash right when you walk away from the machine. Being a physical location instills people a little more trust, and at the same time, you're not storing funds in some centralized exchange to get hacked.
I see. All right. Well, thank you so much. Thanks for showing us that, and hope everyone has a nice day. Bye, guys.